Don Westfall and Dan McCarger back in downtown Mankato one last time here as we start to roll into the post-game show. You just heard from Maverick head coach Mike Hastings, and it was a game that he knew going into it. We talked to him for the pregame. Don't look at the records. Don't look at the standings. This Lake Superior State team is better than we saw in Thanksgiving when we swept them, and he was right, at least for the first two periods of play, but the Mavericks, their depth, their specialty teams took over and kind of blew out what was a close game.
They certainly did, and it all got started early on for the Mavericks with a goal from C.J. Franklin in the first period, and Mavericks get out 1-0, and from that point on, it was kind of a seesaw back-and-forth battle till the third.
Thompson's going to come up here with the power play tally, his second of the year. And the Mavericks would enjoy a 2-goal lead for a very brief time, because then right away Klopke comes back with a rebound goal to make it 2-1. That was our score going into the third.
Pulled it off the pads of Cole Huggins and tucked it behind him, and it's a 1-goal game again.
Mavericks will come back, however, here as a great feed from Teddy Bluger, and Palmquist just buries a wide open shot. And then, again, a 2-goal lead, but Verdacci comes back to make it a 3-2 game.
Mavericks had a 2-goal lead for a total of 1 minute in the game, and then Zach Steppen put it away.
Steppen there, kind of playing it through the legs there to make it a 4-2 game on a power play tally. And the Mavericks would finish off with a shorthanded goal as Gervais takes care of a nice feed from Leitner.
Well, Leitner, just a beautiful job of pulling the puck off the wall. He had 4 defenders around him, and he came away with the puck, and Gervais was going down the middle.
Mavericks, as you can see, out shooting the Lakers tonight, 39-23. Mavericks, those 3 power play goals, also a shorthanded goal. And so you look on the stats and you think, hey, this was an easy game tonight. But unfortunately for Maverick fans, that was not to be the case. It looks great in the final statistics. But again, the Mavericks tonight with the win, 5-2, blowing open a close game there. And if we're going to talk about a player of the game, Dan McCarger, you could mention a few guys. They've had some big nights tonight, but really was all spearheaded by the efforts of the senior Matt Leitner, and he's going to be our player of the game.
You know, he's climbing up the ranks, as we mentioned, in the scoring at Minnesota State Mankato. When you look at it, he's right there with some of the very best players of all time.
Tied right now, second overall Division I level with 144 points. That ties him with St. Joseph. Only Aaron Fox is ahead of him. And hopefully we have a few highlights because he did a fantastic job tonight. 3 assists going into this. And again, the way he was able to set those guys up, no question, he's our JBO Real Estate Group player of the game. Again, 3 assists tonight for one Matt Leitner. And we'd encourage you to contact both either Katie Regan at 507-469-9683 or Kevin Regan at 507-304-2921. JB Real Estate Group sponsoring our play of the game. JB Real Estate Group does the little things that make a big difference. Matt Leitner was a big difference tonight.
Well, he had a great pass we saw just a moment ago to set up Franklin. You see the great pass along the wall to Gervais coming right down the middle. That's a once in a lifetime play between two guys. You got a guy sitting down on the ice with 4 defenders around him, and he knows that he's got a teammate who's going to come down the middle. Gervais knows that there's a chance Leitner can pull it away. He does. He hits him on the stick, and you saw what happened.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, a lot of moxie to create that kind of play, and the Mavericks hopefully will continue to build upon that tomorrow night with their outburst here tonight. But before we close that game out tonight here and get ready for tomorrow night's contest, let's also take a look at some of the out-of-town scores from around the country in WCHA.
In overtime, Michigan Tech and Northern Michigan tied at 3. Bowling Green shuts out Alaska 3-0. Bemidji leading Huntsville 3-0 in the third. Fair State and Anchorage coming up. UMD leading North Dakota 1-0 in the third. North Dakota ranked number 1 in the nation right now. Miami and St. Cloud tied at 1 in the third period of play. Denver and Nebraska tied at 3. Michigan beat the Gophers 4-3 in overtime. Wisconsin blew a 3-1 lead in the final minute of the game. Boston comes from behind to tie that one up. They're in overtime now. Providence over Brown 3-2 in overtime. Ohio State. Penn State was down 4-0. They tied that one up 4-4, then lose in overtime. And Western Michigan beat Notre Dame 4-2.
And again, our final score tonight, it was Minnesota State with 3 goals there in the third period, opening up what was a tight contest 5-2. But as both you and Coach Hastings talk about, you would expect a better effort. And for Lake Superior State, they simply need to stay out of the box and continue what they were able to do over the first 40 minutes of hockey action. And for MSU, they again, as good as tonight was in the third period of play, they need to bookend that, and they need those 2 points in the win column.
I've been by the Maverick locker room after tight-fought, well-played Maverick victories, and the coach flies into the locker room yelling and cheering and getting the guys going. I don't think that's the way he went in the locker room tonight. happy to get the victory. You'll take the points, but they know they got to be better 5-on-5, especially because the odds of you scoring 3 power play goals on any one night, not very good. But they did it tonight, and it was enough to get the victory.
Yeah, we would expect Lake Superior State to be better. We think the Mavericks will be, so we would encourage you to join us again tomorrow night for the second of the 2-game series. But again, tonight our final score, a 5-2 win, Minnesota State Mankato over Lake Superior State. For Dan McCarger, Don Westfall, and the rest of the students from Bethany broadcast, we thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock with the pregame show, 7:07 the face-off from downtown Mankato.